Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, this was a bit of a weird episode. It was still decent, but for the most part, because it's Labor Day, I felt like this is one of those episodes where it's like, if you missed it, you can pretty much kind of get caught up during any recap. Now, it just reminds me, like, anything you found online or anything like that, you can kind of get caught up. But, Johnny Chanel, here's my question for Johnny. Has he really thought this through? Hiring about to sit there and say Raven, hiring Chanel to sit there and play opposite of a love interest or whatever, right? They're going over her lines and everything like that. There's a couple of times he makes a couple of jokes and be like, oh well, I hope this guy's ugly or whatever, or I don't know, I guess I'm gonna have to get used to, seeing you kiss another guy and pretending and everything like that. I'm like like most people would sit there and think that they can handle that stuff until it actually happens. Um, and I know a lot of people. I saw Jakara's video, and I know a lot of people are kind of worried that they're gonna want to break those two up or whatever. I mean, I don't really care about couples or anything like that, but maybe give them a bit of a struggle. Well, to be fair, they actually, never mind. Never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. Um, I still think that was kind of out of pocket. I'm not gonna say it's racist. I'm just gonna sit there and say it's out of pocket. Could be writer's change or whatever, but like I said on General Hospital, with them killing off, a black child, and they doing it on here. It's like, what are we doing? Like, why? Like, why was that really necessary? Anyway, so while they're going over their lines, you got Alex and Stephanie. She's helping them out with the lines and everything. And there's a couple of times where they're doing these scenes, and you can tell it's getting very tense for them because they have history together. Most likely, they're going to put those two together because let's be honest. When it comes to Everett, he wasn't a very well developed character. If we're going to be honest, he wasn't a terrible character, but the way that he just got the idea over a sudden, and then they just went out killing him off, it was just like, yeah. That's when he was into talking about like a funeral and a burial service. So I was like, are they actually gonna do that like on camera? Because like that just, and I know it sounds kind of harsh, but it just seems kind of a waste if we're gonna be honest. Um, Now Paulina, she's happy that once again, let's sit there and say Raven. Chanel's gonna be, in the soaps and stuff like that. But then she finds out from Abe, which she gets a little kind of annoyed with Abe. But to be fair, Abe didn't really know about the history that Alex is going to be her love interest named Arrow, which is, I don't know if it's the dumbest name because of course you got Rocco on General Hospital, but it's definitely among the dumbest names that I've heard. So anyway, she's not happy. She gives them a history lesson on those two and why, they don't get along and why it's not a good idea for them to work together. But, long story short, I'm like, y'all just gonna have to sit there and find a way to make it work. Like, y'all just gonna have to find a way to sit there and make it work. In all reality, you do gotta kind of look at this to some extent and be like, do they really need to work? I mean, Stephanie needs to work because she doesn't come from money. But Alex, he comes from money. So now she comes from money. So it's like, those two doing this is just like, it's just free time. And of course, hilarity starts to ensue when they show up for the set or whatever, and they're like, oh, Chanel's like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm sorry, Chanel, you don't, what do you mean, what are you doing? You don't own any of this. Like, You make it seem like you own something. Like, what are you doing? I always find that very interesting when somebody says, "What are you doing here?" It's like, you pay bills here? No, then why the hell am I talking to you for? um. Okay. I'm going to talk about this scene and the way that I guess it makes sense for other people. It doesn't make sense to me in a sense, but it makes sense for other people. The word "they're a hoot," right? She's a hoot. It's a term that usually older people describe somebody that's just kind of wacky, kind of zany, or whatever. Kind of a silly little scene that doesn't really mean much, but it's a good chuckle. I guess that's what this scene was supposed to be. Problem is that they just make Leo look stupid, right? They make Leo look stupid, and this is one of those things where it's like, okay, so he's just being comedy relief. I can do comedy relief to some extent, but not at the expense of the character's integrity. So Hattie is pretending to be Marlena, and she walks in. She's like, "Oh, well, I want to sit there and I want to be so and so. I can't forget her name. I want to be in so and so. So you're gonna have to sit there, let Hattie go. We're besties and stuff like that." And I know, I'm assuming that he doesn't know Marlena like that, right? But you have spent enough time with her to know that she comes across as dignified and polished to some extent. And there's words and phrases that Marlena wouldn't use that you can tell right off the bat that the way, when you were hanging out with Hattie would use. And how even if you didn't know Hattie that well, Marlena wouldn't use. This doesn't take you knowing this woman for 20 something years. You can know her for like maybe how many sessions that they had. Especially when she sat there and said, "Well, I'll give you a year free of therapy." And he's sitting there deciding back and forth. Now the whole point of this scene is Hattie sitting there testing Leo. Are you gonna sit there and just throw me to the side and for somebody else? Like how loyal are you to me? He passes. But the thing is, it's like, and there was even one point where Hattie sits there and says, "Oh well, who cares about that broad?" And it was just like, come on, bro, come on. It was like it was a neon sign lights. It was like damn well that that's not Marina. He even had to sit there and repeat that, but they kept the joke going, the very cringy joke going. Anyway, um, he's all like, she's all like, "Oh, I got you," whatever. She hugs him and she thanks him for being loyal. And then Bonnie comes in, and Bonnie has a problem with the script. Hey, Bonnie is getting all diva-like. She's all like, "Oh, I don't like the way that the dialogue is. It's making my character look weak. She has more lines to me." And I'm just like, "Well, you coming in with a lot of diva energy and a lot of demands, and you don't really bring much to the table. You can't act, right? Like, yes, you had that one great scene. You had one great scene after Johnny had to sit there and really kind of coach you through the whole thing. And you coming in with all these list of demands and talking about a rewrite and everything. I'm like, boo, Justin done filled your head with a bunch of hogwash, huh? Like, what's going on? Well, most of the times I sit there and say that Bonnie's head is filled with helium, so yeah. Now, the scene with Kate, I was about to call her Katie, the scene with Kate in Rome didn't really go too much of anywhere. But she does ask him to use the Brady Pub at least twice a week. Twice a week or whatever, sit there and film. And, at first Rome was like, when she was like, how about you having it closed down twice a week? And he was like, my staff wouldn't be happy about that. My staff wouldn't be happy about a pay cut, right? Then she brings up the whole body and soul and using that location and being all like, oh, well, Abe, you don't want to sit there and disappoint your best friend Abe. And so he's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, but that's 2 days that your staff doesn't work. Unless they're cool with being on camera. Unless they're cool with being on camera, then I don't really. And I get it. It's a soap opera, so it's we're not really going that much on logistics. But it's like I don't think that regular customers would be okay with that. And again, you are cutting their salary. Like, listen, 2 days worth of pay is a lot for most people. It is to sit there and cut that, unless they're going to sit there and pay them to a point where the money offsets the staff's salary and stuff like that. Otherwise, you may not actually have a lot of people working there. I'm just saying. One thing she was kind of right about was she was like, people would sit there and love to come here, and that's true. There's a place on New York. I think it's Seinfeld. I think they call it like Monks or whatever, and people go there just because it's by Seinfeld. So it's not like he wouldn't get an increase in business, but still. And of course, Hattie's not happy with Bonnie Smith. They're trying to steal the limelight, and I'm just like I guess for me, it's just so funny because it's like neither one of y'all are in a position to really be Smith. They giving demands because you both can't act, and your personality is just grating. Like I'm pretty sure if they was able to, well, I was gonna sit there and say if they were able to sit there and find somebody else, they would sit there and hire him in a heartbeat. But that would mean that they would have to sit there and pay out their entire contract. And since they're a up and start up and start like soap opera company, like they can't afford that. Let me double check something. Yeah, she after oh Kate also asked because she asked Rome to use her nursing station as a film location. I'm like, would she? I don't know if she would even allow that. I don't know if she would even allow that. But like I said, it's going to be somewhat funny. Hattie Smith did trying to talk to Kate and Abe about Bonnie still in the limelight when Kate wasn't even really. I mean, where Kate wasn't even too excited about her ass working there, and now Bonnie's not there giving them a problem. Yeah, she is. She's definitely not going to be one happy camera. Anyway, I feel like that's the basic gist of the episode. Like I said, it wasn't really too much going on. Um, you watch it if you want. I think it's like 37 or 39 minutes long, give or take. But if you don't feel like watching it, you want to skip it, you can just sit down, watch this recap, and just kind of get the basic gist of the episode. Now, if I did miss anything and you watched it, let me know in the comment section below, or better yet, come to the live stream tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. I know General Hospital is new today, but we're going to talk about it anyway. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.